How I Became a Superhero on Netflix was surprisingly entertaining. I was engaged. I wish Jupiter's Legacy would have been more like this. If you're not familiar with this movie, it is a foreign movie and it's dubbed in English for us here in America, but you can't really tell. The performance from the cast, the dubbing from the American cast that dubbed over the Italian actors was so well done, and the emotions that were being portrayed on the screen matched with the voices that were dubbed. I completely enjoyed it. This is exactly how you take a superhero genre. I don't know if this is based on a comic or not, but I think this is, at least for me, this is the way you take something that might be obscured, if it is from a comic book that maybe not a lot of people know, or you take the comic book idea and switch it up. And it doesn't have to be expensive and CGI and all this extra bells and whistles. You could put CGI strategically and it work so well. Now this movie isn't perfect by any means, but I thought it was just really, really well done. Now, there was really some bad choreography in the fight scenes, and it sometimes lagged a little bit, or it was a little slow at times, but it was very far and few in between. The movie's only an hour and 40 minutes long, and I would say 10 minutes of that is probably credits. So it's probably more like around an hour and a half, and it's so perfectly timed. An hour and a half to tell a brand new story is great, and they're taking a page from Marvel. There was an end credits to this movie. Now, the premise of the movie, it's basically superheroes exist, right? And they're learning to live with them. Now, some people are blessed to have powers, and some people aren't. And though seems to be a designer drug that gives non-special people or normal people the abilities of superhumans, at least for a little bit. And it's some kind of aerosol where you break the canister and you inhale it, and you get superpowers like flame throwing, like lasers shooting out of your eyes, like electricity or thunders a la Thor. So it's an interesting concept and premise that they take, where it's a detective and it's like a not a buddy comedy, but a buddy action movie in the first half, and then one of the main characters learns that he has superpowers. Well, he always knew he had superpowers, but because he did something, and killed one of a very famous superheroes by accident. He was trying to help, but we find out that in his trying to help, he accidentally causes an explosion that causes one of the famous superheroes to be killed, and he regrets it, and he vows to never use his abilities again until his partner is almost killed, and he's forced to use his powers to save her. And we all find out, like, oh my god, he's a superhero. Yeah, I was gonna say mutant, but they don't call him that in this universe. And that's basically, and they're basically finding out who is making this drug, who is giving normal people their powers, and trying to stop it, because it's the same as normal drugs. A lot of young youths in this universe are overdosing, are taking too much, and are hurting or killing people when they do have these powers. So basically, that's the premise of the movie. The score, as far as the soundtrack that they used, was very cinematic, was very good. The way they placed it around the movie was excellent. Again, I can't speak highly enough about the actual actors. I would love to hear this movie just in its natural language in Italian, and I might go out and look for it just to see if it's not just the American dub, but just the way they were speaking with that same kind of intensity. It looked like it, but again, it's dubbed for us in here in America. But if you have a chance, go out and check this out in Netflix. It's just right now. It's I think at number 8 or 7 in the movie section as far as trending, which is awesome for a foreign movie. I was pleasantly surprised how well this movie played out. I'm gonna give this movie a C+. Again, there was some dull lulls, there was some dead space. It did seem to drag here and there, but again, it was far in between. The costumes were pretty cheesy. The fight scenes were horrible. I mean, the fight choreographer, ouch. That I mean, when you see it, you will kind of get a chuckle out of it just because it gets so comical and it's so bad. If the fight scenes were a little bit better choreographed, better designed and just better executed, I would have given this at least a B-. Just because the overall project is really good and really solid, but when you have that poor of a fighting sequence in all of them, every one of the fighting sequences was bad, and you would think with such a movie with the budget that they had that the CGI would be the problem, but it wasn't. It had elements of Push, it had elements of the X-Men, it had elements of Heroes, if any of you guys remember that TV series. So I enjoyed it. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know, what did you think about this movie? Have you checked it out? And if you are, come back and give me your thoughts down in the comments if you heard this review and said, hey, let me check this movie out. Again, I don't think you would be disappointed. And again, it's an Italian dubbed in English, but I don't think you guys would mind that much. But anyways, again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.